And we are live. Welcome everybody to the 2024 edition of the Snooker Billiards Ireland Dragons, although we call it Dragons Den-esque for copyright reasons, I suppose. But this is an initiative that Snooker Billiards Ireland has decided as a board that as part of our junior game development plans for this year and going forward, that we want to tap into the overall knowledge pool that exists within Ireland and anywhere really about how to develop the game further, and especially get down to the grassroots, see what plans and initiatives others have thought of, so that we can share that across Ireland and reward that by giving some funding to those ideas, and bringing it and allowing them to fully develop them. So we have a few things we're going to get through over the next hour. And we're going to meet our judges. And sorry, I'll just quickly show you the agenda for that. In a moment, we're going to bring in our chairman of SBI, Tommy O'Donoghue, who's going to give us a few welcome messages. And then we're going to meet our judges. And after that, we're going to get straight into the pitches. These are people who have been selected for the shortlist. We've had a number of applicants in the lead up from January to March, and we've whittled it down along with our judges to these 5 people representing their clubs. So we've Colvin O'Brien, Con Walsh, Dean Washington, Anthony Horgan and Adam Rowan. Each will pitch their idea for 3 or 4 minutes. Our judges will get a chance to ask them a further couple of follow-up questions, and after all 5 of those have been heard, our judges will disappear into a breakout room, and they will deliberate and come up with their views on where the funding should go from that point. They'll come back and tell us all, and we'll finish up at that point. So without further ado, I've never known which word it is, we'll hand over to our chairman, Tommy O'Donoghue.
Thanks, Stephen. Yeah, I just want to welcome all 5 finalists. Congratulations on getting this far. I've had a look at the projects, and each and every one of you are a worthy winner. So I suppose my only advice I can give you as a 5 is enjoy your few minutes in front of this very prestigious judging panel. Be yourself and take a deep breath and enjoy every minute. To Stephen Scully, I just wanted to say thanks again for the incredible commitment to the junior development. Stephen, this is a fantastic idea. To see it come to fruition now and to have our first inaugural winner is exciting. I wanted to thank our 3 judges, Chris Lavelle, the WPBSA head of coaching. Chris, thanks so much for taking time out to be with us tonight. Fergal, an Irish legend. I don't want to make that head any bigger, Fergal, but you know, a member of our Hall of Fame and an incredible ambassador for Irish snooker. Thanks for everything you do. And again, I'm sure there's other places you could be tonight, but really, really thankful for your presence here, and it's very much appreciated. And to Michael McMullen, Michael, sportscaster and radio presenter. Michael, fantastic to have you here. I hope you can enjoy the next hour. It's not going to be easy to judge this, but again, to all 3 of you, thank you so much for making this a worthwhile event and something that we hope to continue in the future. So without further ado, I'll hand you back to Stephen there.
Thanks, Tommy. You've made the next few slides very easy because you've already introed these 3 guys fantastically. But let's go ahead and give a little more detail about who our 3 judges are for the evening. And yes, totally to reiterate what you've said, very, very grateful that they've made the time to do this. They've already put in a lot of time reviewing all of the applications, and again, they've dedicated this time to finish it up with us as well. So first off, as you've said, it's a very strange thing to say that Fergal O'Brien is a former professional snooker player. He seems like he's been around forever, but it's actually 1981 to 2024. Being a professional snooker player, culminating in winning the British Open in 1999 and narrowly missing out in the Masters in 2001, beaten with a deciding frame by Paul Hunter. He has 240 century breaks in that time, which is coincidentally 240 more century breaks than I've ever had or ever likely to have. And now he's moved into the second phase of his career, which is a commentator in Eurosport and a qualified coach. He is Fearless Fergal. Do you want to say hello, Fergal?
Hello, Stephen, and hello, everybody. Thank you very much. It's an absolute pleasure to be, an honour to be chosen, and hopefully we can help. And all five are very worthy cause, but hopefully we can bang our heads together and pick the right one.
Great. Brilliant to have you, Fergal. And moving on, we've Michael McMullen. Yes, it's the same guy in the photo as is on your screen at the minute. He insisted I use that photo for whatever reason, I don't know. But Michael has been working in snooker for 27 years, and I've read many of his articles on snooker scene during that time as well. You'd see his face and hear his voice a lot on Eurosport at all the major events, and is now with ITV as well. And I can highly recommend the podcast that he does for WST and for WPBSA. Michael, thank you very much for joining us as well. Do you want to say hello?
Yeah, no, thanks, Stephen. I was really, as you probably remember, very excited when you called me. I think it was early April. And so pleased to see someone really putting so much enthusiasm into a project like this. And just honoured, sincerely, to be asked to do this alongside guys like Fergal and Chris, who are just the absolute lifeblood of the game and have it running through their veins. So very much looking forward to the evening.
Great. Thanks very much, Michael. And our third judge, we're really delighted to have Chris Lavelle join us. He is a WPBSA Head of Coaching and Training Development Manager, and just looking down through his CV of what he's been doing, like training over 600 snooker coaches in the last 8 years. And look at those names that he has been working with John Higgins and Anthony McGill, the real the high-level snooker players that we all watch on the television. It must be fantastic to be working with those. Chris, I'd love to hear more about that at some stage. But as well as that, he's been involved deeply in the grassroots, and I think it's fantastic the work that you've done with the Paul Hunter Foundation, working with the groups of people using snooker, like it says on the screen, to get children off the streets. Chris, thank you very much for joining us.
Good evening, everybody. Like Michael and Fergal, I'm very humbled to be invited to get involved with this, and I've spent years, as you've just alluded to, with the WPBSA coaching scheme or the Paul Hunter Foundation, banging on people's doors to say yes. It feels very strange to be on the other side of something where someone's trying to get me to say yes. So I'm very excited about the prospect. Great people involved. What a great initiative. You know, congratulations to Stephen. The work that's gone into this to make it as professional as you have and slick. Even the X Factor will be jealous of this evening, Stephen. So that's a big thumbs up and congratulations. Thanks from me.
Thank you, Chris. The X Factor is nothing to worry about, I don't think. Okay, so we have our judges. Now we have the real stars of the show. We have our 5 candidates who are all going to pitch to us shortly. And just a reminder of what's up for grabs here and what SBI have invested in really wanting to drive this forward. Like I say, it's been since I came on board on the SBI board, one of the key things has been junior game development and addressing the need to bring more kids into the game, of all backgrounds, of all genders, of everything. So I'm really impressed to see that when it came to it, they said, yes, there's money behind this. So tonight, all 5 of those who pitch will leave with at least €500 funding to go ahead and drive their idea further forward. So from 3rd to 5th place in the rankings by the judges will get €500 each. The second most favoured idea will receive €1,000, and then the top ranked idea will receive a full €2,500, which I'm sure will go a long way to seeing their plans realised. So at this point, all the participants know who's coming next and in what order they're coming in. But I just want to say the very best of luck to every one of them. Okay, so we will proceed with Colvin O'Brien of the Greg Snooker Club in Laois. Go ahead, Colvin. And you're just on mute there at the minute, Colvin.
Hello.
Yeah, we have you now.
Perfect. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Good evening, gents. As you know, my name is Colvin O'Brien. I live in Carlow here. I'm not too far from the academy in Great Cullen here in Carlow itself. I literally live like 200 yards from the club. My idea, lads, is my proposal obviously is to bring my own table to schools around Carlow. I am snooker in Carlow. When people hear my name, they think of me. So I'm already involved in schools. I'm actually a qualified sports coach. I coach many sports in the vicinity in Carlow and around Leinster, because I've done a programme years ago in Carlow IT, a community sports coaching programme. So I have all the certificates, I have all the badges to allow myself to go to these schools to coach these kids. But further, without delaying my proposal, I propose going to schools with a small table, 6x3, if so, to try and get kids into the game, to gather some experience in their school amongst their friends with a happy face is my first plan. I can bring fun to it as well. I can generate fun games with maths in the small colours, adding the colours to their snooker scores, etc., etc. And that's called bringing fun and snooker to the schools and making it a fun game for kids while learning in school and playing snooker. So that's my plan on going to schools. It's not going to be easy, but I'm well known in schools in Carlow and Leinster because I'm already a qualified sports coach. So I'd have local council that will support me to get this into schools. And my plan is to go to schools maybe once a week and have it as a PE class. And maybe then kids will go home to their parents on a Friday evening and they'll say to their parents, "Mammy, I'm playing a new sport in school, snooker." To me, that would be amazing, because in my day of playing snooker, it was always in the club. It was never in schools. And I want to hear stories in years to come where lads can say, "I learned to play snooker in school." That's grassroots to me. So my next action would be to lean on my experience, as it says, in my connections, and as I'm a qualified development sports coach, I want to push for snooker to be included on a weekly PE class in schools in all areas. Now, that would be me going to schools on different days of the 5 days calendars of school days. So I'd have to go to a different school on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc., etc. But they know you're coming to play snooker and they look forward to you coming, I think, because schools, I think snooker should be in schools, and I want to push that through to schools, because that's where snooker is. It's grassroots. That's what I'm hoping to do that. I'm really hoping to do that. And in regards to my potential results, I'll kick on and say my potential results will be results, because progression is results, and results gives more confidence. And if a kid is learning snooker in school, he's going to gather more confidence. So my potential results is to have kids with loads of confidence and be able to play snooker in a snooker school blitz that I've set up and created myself amongst all these schools in Carlow and Leinster. And they all come together on separate weekends with their parents and are supporting their kids in their school in a new sport. To me, that would be an amazing, amazing potential result. But not only that, I also enjoy kids smiling and playing snooker, because it brings me back memories to me. When I was a kid growing up playing snooker, I used to love going to the club. But I can bring my experience to the schools, and my results would be the school blitz in all schools and regionals, and lots of happy young guys playing snooker. I really, really hope that my dream is to have kids playing snooker in all these schools, and for me to give my experience back. It's called giving something back to the community, because my name in Carlow, I am snooker in Carlow, and I will be able to help people in schools in Carlow. That's all I have to say on the matter. Thanks very much, lads.
Fantastic, Colvin. Thank you very much. Excellent. So if we have who of our judges would like to ask the first question of Colvin?
Go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to commend you on your passion and the word smile that you use more than once, because that's the objective of trying to get kids into our sport, because everybody can fit in it. My question to you would be that how can one person, even as passionate and believing in themselves as you, do all that and then leave it for somebody else when you get a foot over the line?
Well, I'd be one person starting it, but I'm actually a qualified sports coach. I have many helpers in the development of sports in Carlow, not just snooker. I have many people behind me that can support me and come with me and help me with these kids.
Okay, thank you.
Colvin, again, just to echo what Chris has said, I thought you spoke very well there, actually. And I'm very encouraged, actually, to hear you talking about kids enjoying it and smiling. There's not enough of that in sport nowadays, even among kids. So I very much agree with you on that. Just to clarify, though, it sounds from what you're saying that you see yourself developing a network of other people doing similar things across Leinster and bringing kids together. Is that the general idea in the long run?
Yeah, that's correct, Michael, because when I did this course in Carlow IT, we had a snooker blitz in colleges. So I wanted to develop that game in junior schools where they come together and have a blitz, all schools.
Yeah, it's great. Very exciting plans, Colvin. And just to reiterate, I thought you spoke extremely well there.
Yes, thank you, Michael.
We'd have time for another one, Fergal, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, no, firstly, echo what the lad said. You have very good, again, very passionate. So you're saying hopefully you have what you do in Carlow then is basically a blueprint so other than counties effectively will see that success and copy on from that.
Yes, Fergal, that's true. But you have to remember, all the tournaments that people and juniors come to are held in Carlow.
Yeah.
So it'll be the same thing, only they'll hear about it, so they'll want to come and play, hopefully.
Very good.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Colvin. That was excellent. And I think the question is very expertly answered as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can rest easy now as we now move on to our next participant, who is from the Crucible Club, Snooker Club in Cork. It's Con Walsh.
Thanks, Stephen. Hi, everyone. So, having been involved in GA clubs throughout my life, and also in snooker, the one thing that always got to me was when both girls and boys in their early teens maybe didn't make the teams, maybe didn't make the better teams, and were left on the bench as substitutes and not getting their games, they ultimately left the club. So the problem with that was the club lost a member and a membership subscription, and the player lost contacts with the people they might have been growing up with underage, and they may not have gone on to another sport at all. So I researched the Croaks model, whereby I saw they have a fabulous snooker room there. They play in the Dublin leagues, and this got me thinking about my own club here in Cork, in Ascara, whereby most clubs have underutilized space. They might use a committee room once a week, and it's left idle for the rest of the year. Doing some measurements on a few clubs around Cork, there's ample space in some of them to put in 2 or 3 snooker tables, and you already have the foundation in this club of volunteerism. So, for instance, I would see myself next steps, taking the funds, doing a review or a chat with the Kilmacud Croaks Club and maybe other clubs that might have tables there already. Identify 3 or 5 clubs in my locality to see, would they take a table in, would they utilize it, and also that room could still be used with a covering of the table, plywood, whatever, when it's needed for the weekly meetings and stuff like that. The idea here would be to support a club whereby we'd source them a table, and potentially it would be full size, maybe, or 3/4 size, whatever would fit, and basically have them set up their own club. So when they start getting juniors involved in playing, they'll be around the club, they'll see the hurling, they'll see the football, they'll see the camogie, but they can still play the snooker. And then they have a mechanism for capturing the possibly 10 a year, 8 to 10 a year in our club alone would leave the club because they're just probably not fit enough, good enough to make the teams. And it's those kids I'd like to capture and utilize to give them another outlet, plus anyone else that wants to play underage. The potential results, as I was saying, retains the club membership. So there's an incentive for the GA club to do something like this that will allow them to keep the juniors within their club structure. It's probably be a small revenue earner for the club, and I would hope in a matter of years to see hundreds of people, kids playing snooker, but out of GAA clubs. They may not stay there. They might progress into joining actual snooker clubs, which again might drive the interest in other snooker clubs around the country and the locality. As we all know, they've dwindled over the years, and there's an option. Just for some information, the background, there's thousands of clubs, GA clubs, with junior sections around Ireland. In our club alone, there's approximately 500 juniors between the GAA, the hurling and the camogie section. So as you can see, losing 8 or 10 of them a year is a big loss to any club. We'd invest in the non-playing members. As I said, just to recap, snooker room could double up as the meeting room, so they're not losing that meeting room. We'd encourage low hourly pricing to encourage the juniors to play. It's not easy for juniors and young people, particularly around the north side of Cork, whereby it's 12, 13 euros an hour to play snooker. I mean, they can play maybe once or twice a week. When I played snooker with Fergal and the lads when we grew up, we were playing probably 7 days a week. So that's the general gist of the presentation. Thanks for your time.
I can't. Well done. Just one thing I was just inquiring about. Even if you were to win and obviously get the 2,500, for argument's sake, for each club, again, you said there's many clubs, for each club to get a table, particularly if it's full size, it's going to be very expensive. So if for argument's sake, if 2,500 might be great, that might well get. Of course, you're not looking necessarily for a star table, but just a full size table. That might be 2,500. You'd probably get it done for that. That's great. The other clubs, is that come from? Is the GAA club themselves looking to pay for it, or who's going to pay for the other clubs?
So already in advance of this, I've reached out and spoken to, let's say, a company on the possibility of doubling this investment. So, for instance, if I was to be the beneficiary of this, then I'd have a meeting set up next week with a local business that I've already pitched an idea that they may double the investment. Now, that's not going to fill every GA club in Cork with snooker tables, right? The idea would be to get 1 or 2 set up in the locality, in Cork, not the locality, but in Cork, in prominent GA clubs, and build that over the few months, and then start bringing in other clubs to see how this works. Initially, we'd have to bring people from Cork or clubs or wherever we decide up to Dublin to look at Kilmacroke's setup. The idea being that when they see the viability of it and what the focus is on the result and keeping the people and maybe having a small earner, then yes, they would have to invest themselves. But as you know, Fergal, full-size tables are all over the place. I know a place in Cork that there's 10 tables sitting idle. I could get one for €100. The cost of putting it in and installing it would cost about 800. So, it's not overly expensive to get up and running, I would think.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, don't really have a question as such, but just wanted to say hi to you, Con, and I see you're from the Crucible Club there, and it's reminding me that I'm actually living in Cork for 8 years now, and I've still not been in, which is a crime. So I've got to come in soon.
Well, Stephen, if you pass on my number and email address to Michael, I didn't know you were living in Cork, Michael.
Yeah.
And give me a shout before the weekend or next week, and we'll certainly bring you up and have a chat.
Yeah, no, I'd love to come in, and just funny enough, just an observation actually. We were talking there about obviously bringing kids who maybe it hasn't quite worked out for them in GAA or whatever. As I'm sure you're well aware, Aaron, who we all know so well, that was how he got started, was because it didn't work out for him with the Cork City youngsters. So interesting connection there. But yeah, very detailed and ambitious ideas there, Con, which is what we're looking for. So thanks very much for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just to echo what Michael said, I've got a very ambitious project, very good, Con. One question from me: they all can't be as passionate as you. How would you set up the buddy system?
Well, I suppose there's always the one thing about GA clubs. There's always people in GA clubs that the young people look up to. I'll give you an example. Rena Buckley in our local in Escara Camogie club, the ladies' version of hurling, Chris. She's the only person in Ireland that has 18 All-Ireland medals through camogie and football, ladies football. She is like a god to people down here. She's retired now at this stage. She will go back and coach, but people like yourselves, we also have the captain of the Cork hurling team playing with our club in Escara, Sean O'Donoghue, who I know fairly well. We would encourage not just the juniors to come in and utilise this facility, but anyone that would like to see how we want to maintain the participation of the young people in the club. And I'm sure we wouldn't be too tight for inspiration.
Good, well done. I'm sure it'll work.
Thank you.
Can I just add to that, actually, Chris? Because Fergal, I know you understand what the GAA is about, and what kind of an organisation it is, but it's hard to explain to someone who isn't from Ireland what a big part of the fabric of every small village it is. I mean, the closest parallel I can think of in Britain is if you think of the way small villages in Wales, perhaps with a mining background, are built around the rugby club. It's very much that kind of environment. And even aside from being the sporting thing, it's a cultural phenomenon as an organisation, the GAA. So that's the background to that.
The boys' club situation happens around the UK. Yeah, so yeah, I've got a grasp for what we're at, but not as in detail.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Michael. Very good.
Fantastic, Con. Well done. And as a keen GAA man myself, your idea resonates with me as well. Very best of luck with it. So we now move on. We go north a bit up to Drogheda to Dean Washington from the Potters Club in Drogheda. He's going to take us through his idea. And actually, even before you start, Dean, I think for the benefit of Chris, we should explain what TY is, because I know that I wouldn't write this that maybe it's a confusing one for someone not from these shores as well. But it's a year within the schools, within the secondary schools, where kids are the focus isn't so much on academics classes and subjects, but more on getting involved with social activities, sports, other things like that. It's almost like a year out of academia during their secondary school year, but it's a chance to become leaders in other things. So
a good idea. Thank you.
Hi, so I'm Dean Washington, the owner, table fitter, cleaner of Potters in Drogheda. My proposal, so TY students, as Stephen just said, is about transitioning from third to fifth year, not academic based. Year for kids, teenagers, to just try different things. So there's about 13 schools in Drogheda at the moment, and I'm looking to do coaching. I'll be starting off with about 90 minutes. As many students as we accommodate. We have 7 snooker tables. We have the facilities to get as many students as we can. I currently have one school involved with St. Oliver's. They come down regular enough. I give them a bit of coaching. I've done my basic coaching level with PJ Nolan. Loved it. It was great. I've started using it. We've had I learned to play snooker with my father. So juniors is the time to get them when they're 12, 13, 14, 15. I have a lot of ideas, but the main idea was just for getting students down from TY every few weeks, and then plan would be to help cover costs, so their taxis, buses, table time. I'm hoping this maybe could throw €2, and that will cover it all for them for 90 minutes or 2 hours. Think they can all afford that, and just keep the cost down for them, because that's what we're trying to do: keep the cost down for juniors, get them involved, get them playing. Kickstart snooker, junior snooker in around the Drogheda area. There's a lot of schools, a lot of students. We have a lot of students coming in at the moment. A lot of juniors coming in the weekends. So it's going to start off with TYs, see how it goes, and then try and go younger again. Go down to third year, which would be ages 14, 15. Hopefully, if possible, get into some sort of PE class. That'd be brilliant. And then also, I am going to try and get a junior competition of some sort. So like a schoolboy, schoolgirl competition where I get the 4 best players, 8 best players from each school, and have them compete with each other. Yeah, that's my plan. That's one of many plans. This will be the starter, and then I'm going to go from there with a few other ideas I have. Thank you.
Hi, Dean. Well done on your proposal. Just it occurs to me, listening to you, Drogheda actually, obviously, as you know, isn't that far from Dublin, where there's a massive population centre. So it strikes me that it might be an idea to offer this to schools in Dublin if they were willing to make the journey. It might be an hour or so, really, depending what part of Dublin they were coming from, that they could come even for a day. Would that be something you might envisage happening?
I'm happy for any ideas. I'm willing to put my time forward for anything. So I'm there every day of the week. I've been involved with juniors. I've been we've owned the club for the last 14 years, and most nights I'd still drop the teenagers home if they needed a lift home. So I'm always involved with trying to help them out in other ways with life, not just snooker wise.
Okay, well, thanks for that, and very interesting ideas, and again, well spoken and well thought out. So thanks for that, Dean.
No, I can only echo that, Dean. Super idea, and the idea that kids get 12 months out to do, in inverted commas, a gap year doing things like this is what it's the future for Q Sports, certainly, to get a foot in the door properly. And well done. I've no other questions other than say congratulations on the idea.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, well done, Dean. Actually, the transition year is actually a very good age group that they're at, as in they're old enough that you say easy enough to teach, and there's probably a level of maturity with them.
Yeah.
However, though, they're coming into that tricky age, would you say, coming into 16, 17, 18, where if it's not snooker, the more interest they have, less likely then to get into troubles, because obviously a bit later the drinking and that kind can become more of an issue. So certainly if something else to keep them involved and interested in, and they're so engrossed in that they're not realizing they might be missing out on other stuff. So I think their age is definitely an asset. Well done.
It's a safe place for them to come down and keep them out of trouble. That's what it's there for.
Absolutely.
Excellent, Dean. Well done. And yeah, it sounds like it's hitting just a target group that we're looking at in junior game development as well. So excellent. Now we'll move on to our fourth pitcher, if that's a word. And this one coming from y'all CYMS is Anthony Horgan. Go ahead, Anthony.
Thanks, Stephen. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Anthony Horgan, and I'm a member of y'all CMS since I was about 12 years of age, which is a long time ago now. I'm currently treasurer of the club, and I'd just like to thank you for the opportunity to pitch today for this great initiative. So I have a couple of proposals jotted down here, a couple of bullet points. So we as a club would like to continue the trajectory of having 7 junior members in 2023 to having to 25 junior members this year. We keep the fees at a level where snooker is accessible to everybody. We've got a €10 membership. We've got €1 per 13 minutes play. So that's equivalent to €4 for 52 minutes play. And effectively, two juniors can play each other for bones of an hour for €2 each, which is great value, you know. It is our aim to prolong the tradition of having our juniors represent us at SBI ranking events and ultimately at international events such as the Celtic Challenge and European tournaments. Target and encourage clubs in the area like GAA, soccer, athletics, etc., to have their pre-season bonding sessions at our club, so we can promote and open our club to a new audience. We aim to run a father and son competition, and getting existing juniors to invite their friends. We'll provide an adult for the kids that come solo. This will mark the end of our season this year, and we'll bring them across to our main club sponsor, the Keys Bar, for finger food and stuff after the event. Other events like Bring Your Friend Evening, Have an Open Day, continue to promote snooker through the social media channels, where we've purchased a club phone this year and a tripod to stream finals and flyers held throughout the season. The next steps would be to continuous upgrade of our facilities to make it a more comfortable and welcoming environment. Plans for the coming season is to upgrade the seating area, implementing cushioned seating, install solar panels to cut our energy costs, ongoing works on our tables and replacing cloths, and upgrading to steel back cushions, etc. Upkeep and replacement of the snooker equipment like the rest, extensions, spiders, etc., where they need to be replaced. A plan is also in place to look at our lighting where we feel that needs attention on our tables. Our in-house coach Brendan Coney to provide development for the more established players and provide a good level of coaching for the beginners, which is a vital asset to our club when they come in at under 12s and 11 age group. Again, the word continuous is used where we hold as many different junior competitions as possible, including 6 red competitions, straight knockout competitions, team events, round robin tournaments, which vary from 1 frame to the best of 3 frames. More advanced juniors are allowed to enter our senior tournaments as well once they reach a certain handicap criteria. Junior tournaments throughout the season can be as many as 15 competitions, and keeping them moving is a priority for us, as we don't want these tournaments to get stale and the kids to get disinterested. We ask SBI Ireland to give us a ranking of tournament at ULCOMS where we will hold it. We'll run it ourselves, and we'll give the opportunity to the locals to come and experience the competitive day. This could potentially entice a new junior in the door. Currently, we are running tournaments for the Munster Snooker Association and have experience running tournaments for the Cork Snooker Association, and in the past have run RIBSA tournaments along with international events. And the results then, the potential results, we want to secure the future of junior snooker at ULCOMS and ultimately feed them through to SBI Ireland. Continue to develop players to try one day have a player make it at the top level. Have a club for all snooker enthusiasts and not so serious players to come and enjoy the snooker environment. One day they could become a committee member or your next volunteer. We estimate to have up to 6 juniors to compete at the ranking events from under 12s to under 18s for the coming season. And just 1 or 2 more here now before I finish. We will endeavour to promote, showcase, and provide a respected community-based non-profit club in our town amongst a very competitive market, whereby in today's world there are many options for the juniors to choose from. We are very proud to see the growth of our juniors down through the years to come through and win Munster's championships, notably in 2000 and 2003. And we were very unlucky in 2024, losing the final of the All-Ireland competition in Clarny. All those players were homegrown and came through our underage setup. We hope to continue this trend. We would hope also to continue and develop our junior snooker players players to follow the steps and previous national juniors champions at all ages and those competed internationally. We also like to mention as well that we allocate 2 of our 4 tables to juniors. So if the snooker hall is very busy with adults and so on, we keep 2 tables for the juniors so that they get equal playing time. And finally, then we feel at ULCOMS we as a club are we're at a level where a lot of clubs would like to be in terms of junior membership and facilities. And also, I'd like to extend as well an invite to anybody on this call and beyond who might be in the vicinity of you all to come and visit our premises. You'd be more than welcome. Thank you for your time. If there's any questions.
Yeah, hi Anthony. Yeah, look, I'm a massive fan. Obviously, been in Yall, but a massive fan. I think Yall Snooker Club, the work Brendan, Eddie, and yourself and others do, just embodies all that's good in the game. So, whatever money you get this evening is going to a good home as such, and well deserved for the work you do. The only question reservation I have is there progress being made with regard to in the juniors getting more girls or females to play?
Yeah, I suppose, Fergal, like that's a question that probably has come up down through the years as well. But I suppose we are a CYMS ultimately, which is the Catholic Young Men's Society, you know. Also, it's really something that's never come up at committee level or at AGM level, or really we haven't really had girls come in the door really looking for membership either, which is probably strange to hear that. And I suppose we're a type of a main shed as well, like Snooker's primary service, but we also, like, we're involved with a new group that's set up in Yall there as well in recent times. It's called Yall Talks, and it's about the mental health of men in general. So, like, we provide a facility for those to come and like, we're just not all about snooker. You've seen our card room. We've got a facility where you can sit down and have a chat. We provide Wi-Fi. You can log on for the internet, and we've a television service. So it's just a relaxed environment in there as well, you know.
Yeah, no, as I said, I wasn't trying to necessarily trip you up, but just on behalf of the SBI, it's the national body, obviously looking for exclusion. But you make a good point there with regard to men. I know myself. I think fellas, I think, more likely to have a decent open chat around a snooker table than if the same two people went to the pub. There's a natural break in a game of snooker where you can go off, say something for the under end of the table. It's always interesting in the club that you hear fellas have chats and open up a bit more over a table than they wouldn't in a pub. So
correct.
If it is just men, for argument's sake, you know, by no means have I been critical of that, or just
no, 100%. And who's to say in the future that's not going to change, you know? So
yeah, but no, it's a great club, and he's already do great work.
Thanks, Fergal. Cheers,
Anthony. What a great proposal, and you know, very in depth. Can I just pick up without putting you under any pressure for numbers on results? How many roughly, out of percentage or bodies wise, would you look to increase if you got the funding in the next 12-18 months?
Well, I suppose we've gone from 7 to 25 in the last year, you know, and if we can provide more comfortable environment and so on, we'd hope to rise that, you know. Like back in the 80s and 90s, I think I've heard stories that the junior membership was up around 100, you know. So I'm not saying we'll get back to that level, but we'd like to obviously improve on 25.
Oh, that's good. Going in the right direction as well. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris.
Hi, Anthony. Yeah, I don't really have any follow-up question as such. I mean, you've been very detailed there. Fergal obviously was under instructions from Jean to ask about women's players. But yeah, it's great. I mean, it's one thing that really comes through in your talk there is, you know, you've obviously put in the hours and indeed the years already in the game. So, you know, you're obviously coming from a position of knowledge. So that's great to see.
And just going back to the women thing as well, like, we're not anti-women in our club. As Fergal has had his wife in our club. And
there you go.
And as well as that, like, when we hold junior tournaments, the families are welcome in, and that's mothers and daughters and sisters and aunts and grannies. So, like, you know, I don't want to put out the idea that we're anti-women or anything like that, you know.
That's great to hear. Go on, Ferg, sorry.
Yeah, no, and I certainly wasn't getting at that. You know, I said I wasn't in any way trying to trip you up, but I says, look, myself and Jean have always been very, very, very welcome. So
correct. Yeah.
Long may that continue.
Correct, Fergal. Yeah.
Great to hear from you, Anthony. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks.
Thank you.
It was a great presentation, Anthony. Thank you very much. Very detailed as well, as the guys have said. Well done. But there's one man that has been waiting patiently and has listened to all four before him, and it is his turn to finish up with our series of 5 pitches, and that is Adam Rowan from the St John's Club in Limerick. Go ahead, Adam.
Thanks very much, Stephen. Firstly, thanks a million to those involved in the selection process. It's an honour to be given the opportunity to pitch my proposals to you this evening. So I'm from the St John's Club in Limerick, based in the heart of Limerick City. So the first proposal that we want to put forward is we want to approach local schools to offer our snooker club facilities as a reward to students, maybe based on good behaviour. I suppose the idea behind that is that there'd be positive energy around the students coming into the club, and playing the game would be seen as a positive thing straight away. We want to remove the barriers to entry for all of the youth playing the game in the club. So as a private members club, previously we would have had a minimum age requirement of 18 before you could join and play. So we're committed to changing that to allow younger members to join and play the game as freely as possible. We want to implement youth-friendly competitions. So that's going to be guardian and child competitions, as well as kind of under 16 and downward competitions. We notably looked at pool, which is a cue sport in Limerick that's really flourishing at the moment. And I suppose we want to look at the positives from their side of what they were doing to increase their junior members. I suppose the resounding answer was the frequency of competition that they have. So there was competitions on weekly, bi-weekly, monthly basis, along with family-friendly competition and guardian competition. So we want to mimic their model to create a friendly atmosphere around the game in the club and the county. We also want to offer free coaching on Sundays. Sundays in particular, as Limerick as a county has a rich sporting history. We're not trying to compete with the soccers and the rugbies and the hurlings of the county, which usually take place on Saturdays. So we're going to use Sundays, the opportunity in the break in the youth's kind of schedules, to offer that free coaching and gain the interest in the game. So based on the proposals, the next actions that we want to attack to try implement them is to approach the local schools and explain the incentive that we have about using our facilities as a reward for positive behaviour in their schools. We're in a prime location. We're surrounded by 8 very large boys and girls schools, and we'd all have contacts both working in the locality that we would approach over the summer as they're compiling their curriculum to try offer the service. So we want to, if selected, use the funding to purchase a smaller table along with cues, and use the funding towards free lighting. So that again is going to remove the barriers to entry, to give children the opportunity to play the game in a friendly environment inside in the club, completely free, just to give them the opportunity to love the game as much as we all do. And we want to set up the competition straight away, just again, so that we have that facility for players that are really interested, that they can play. Now, obviously, there's loads of brilliant competitions in Carlow, but we just want to offer it as a service in the locality for maybe those that can't travel, which again is kind of removing another barrier to entry for some people. The result and the main aim of the proposal and the pitch and the project that we're all trying to do is we're just trying to grow the sport in our county. We want to increase the number of youth players to play the game locally, and in turn then drip feed them to a national level, and hopefully the next snooker star comes from Limerick. So thank you.
Yeah, Adam, very good. Again, I think it's a good point to make there regard to having tournaments. Well, firstly, also having coaching as well is important, but also having tournaments there. Because again, for a lot of players, maybe if they're going to Carlow, if they're inexperienced, and go maybe playing Carlow and get beaten well in the first match, can be quite daunting and off-putting. But if you have a series of competitions, they've got used to competitive play, and then if chances are they're only probably going to go to Carlow if they've had some level of success in Limerick. That's at worst, it's a very good base for them when they start playing against other players. So now, very good idea and well spoken.
Thanks very much, Fergal.
Yeah, congratulations, Adam. Nothing other than praise from me. It looks very structured, looks very good. Similar question to the previous person that was on. What sort of growth would you be looking for in numbers or percentages?
So I suppose, look, you have to walk before you can run with all of these things. As a club, I think we'd be the first to put our hands up and say that we most certainly lost track or lost sight of the youth. They would be the lifeblood of our club. Without them, the club ceases to exist. Unfortunately, as a 30-year-old man, I'm considered a young fella inside in the club, which is something that we drastically want to change. I suppose as a starting point, maybe over the course of the summer, we definitely like to get 10 junior members as a starting point. To me, that would look like a success. It would give us a kind of a foundation to set up these tournaments and have that competitive environment where needed. So yeah, I think 10 junior members over the course of the next 3 months would look like a success, with the potential and the aim to grow that month on month. So
well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi Adam. Yeah, I don't have any question as such, because I think everything you said there, and indeed the question from Chris there, you know, that's kind of outlined it all. And absolutely, to underline what you're saying, Limerick, I know, is an absolutely sports insane place, and probably even more so after yesterday's events. And the free coaching as well, you know, like there's so many people I know, and particularly knew when I was younger and playing a lot, who see snooker on television, think that looks great, I'd love to go and play that, but they go to the club and then it's like they've no idea, like, how do you screw a ball back, you know, how do you apply topspin, how do you apply stun, and nobody ever shows them, and then they lose interest. I'm not saying they're going to be playing straight away like they see on television, but they've absolutely no chance if somebody doesn't show them actually how you physically make a cue ball do certain things. So to offer free coaching to start off, you know, is really important. Obviously Chris will agree with that, and I know Ferg, you've gone into coaching as well now, so that's really positive, and well done, and thanks, and great. Just now that we've come to the end of the speakers, just it's been a real eye-opener actually to see so much passion and enthusiasm, and people who, you know, really are trying to push the junior game forward here. And it's not like the real Dragons Den at all. Every idea has been sensible. We need a few wacky ideas in here to make it really like the TV show, and there haven't been any of those. Everyone's got, you know, really good thoughts and ideas, so it's been wonderful to see.
Thank you.
You want to be inside my head, Michael. Sometimes you find some really wacky ideas, but and yeah, you make a good point about Limerick. The guys have already shown that they're very good with sticks, so why can't they be used instead of hurleys? Chris, you won't understand that one, but we'll explain to you after.
I get the sentiment, don't worry.
Right, that brings us to the end of all 5 brilliant presentations. I think really fantastic idea, and I'm delighted we're doing this, to be honest, because a good idea is a good idea, not just in your own club or your own locality. It's a good idea everywhere, and I think the goal for everybody across borders, across regions, around everywhere, is that we just get more people playing the game and keeping our game alive and healthy. So hopefully when we get this on YouTube and shared on social media, lots of people watch it and pick up on these 5 brilliant ideas and maybe bring it into their own clubs. But in the meantime now, we have to make some tough decisions. So what I'm going to do is use technology for a second, and I'm going to add our 3 judges. I'm going to send them to a breakout room that will last exactly 5 minutes. Fergal.
Best of luck, Michael, Fergal, and Chris. Tough job.
Thank you.
And why is it giving me so much trouble now? So these are assigned, and then here we go. Yeah, you're in that. I'm going to set the timer for 5 minutes, guys. In that time, the rest of us are just going to have a chat around what we've seen around junior game development and our experiences, and sort of continue that feeling, that movement towards sharing of ideas and things like that. But we're waiting eagerly for your judgments after 5 minutes. All the best with that, guys. See you soon.
Yep. Thank you. Yep.
Can we all hear each other?
Sorry, hold on. I need to open them. That's what it is. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. That was me. Sorry.
Everyone's muted.
Well done, Stephen. And well done to our 5 finalists, lads. Really enjoyed the presentations. It's not easy. It's not easy, believe me. What you've done is fantastic in such a short period of time. What I will say is that the SBI are committed to the junior game and its development in Ireland. So everything that I've heard tonight is in line with that. You know, starting with Colvin, you know, going out to the schools. You know, there was a real kind of follow on from that in all the other pitches as well. So I think schools are really important. I think we all remember, I think we're all of an age where we remember, you know, 40, 50, 60 young fellas playing. But those days are well and truly in the past. And I think you all realise that. Can we bring them back? I don't know. I don't know. We need Aaron Hill to help us in a huge way by winning a ranking tournament live on television. We need more professionals. We need, would you believe, we need more referees on TV to give some of our women an opportunity to see the game for what it is. What I will say, and I'll finish up, is that, you know, there's €5,000 up for grabs here. That is a huge investment by the SBI. That's how serious we take it. Whoever the winner is, there will be an awful lot of due diligence involved in working with you. You will have all the resources that we have in the SBI. We will work closely with you. But as long as you know that we're very much in line with Sport Ireland, and everything has to be accounted for. The money is there to the winner and to the runners-ups, but there has to be due diligence involved. So as long as you all realise that we will be working very closely with that and having a very transparent project, joint project with you. So congratulations again. And Stephen, have you anything to add?
Just that's a fair point about the follow-up, but it's not as much an accounting practices as much as this is something we want to scale. You guys are all doing pilot tests, if you like, of your idea, and we want to then tie back. You know, this investment gets this much participation increase and things like that, and there's more playing, and then that's something we really want to aim to roll out across Ireland. A good idea, like I say, it should be shared everywhere.
Absolutely, absolutely. Have you any questions for us, guys? Anything you want to put to us, or are you okay?
All good.
I'm good.
All good, Tommy. All good.
Well, if I just ask a sort of open question, and Tommy said it about schools. It seems to be a common theme. Have any of you had any initiatives in your clubs before around schools that did work and didn't work, or any particular reasons why?
Yeah, I've had a youth reach come down, which is basically a secondary school. We used to have them every Tuesday, and they come down and play pool and snooker, part of their class, one of their class, learn new skills. So they will come down every week. That happened before COVID, and then COVID happened. They haven't come down since. So we're approaching them again to get them coming down their school year. I also have St. Oliver's coming down, which is another school. They come down probably once a month. They have a competition, and I put a pool table into their school for them.
Okay.
So another idea is about the 6x3 table is another idea I had, and then father and son competitions, parent and son competitions, another ideas. So there's a lot of ideas out there, and obviously people are going to share each other's ideas, and everyone will have the same idea and things. But we had to pick one proposal, so we went with the one.
That's pretty good. I suppose we do have ideas across us all how to get people in the door. How do we get them to keep coming back, though? How do we make it sticky?
Keeping it fun, Stephen.
Yeah, fun, yeah. And as well as I think kids go in packs, don't they? Like if there's 2 or 3 kids really interested, and they'll bring another 3 or 4 or 5 with them, like, you know. And I think it's a competitive market, because with all the technology and gadgets they have today, it's really hard to entice them off them things to get into a snooker hall or to whatever, you know.
And they're priced at the moment. You know, it's very, very obvious from a club side of things. They're priced out of it. Kids just can't practice and play as much as we did growing up. and when we were in clubs 7 days a week, we were getting free practice.
Yeah.
I mean, the clubs were booming in the 80s and early 90s, and they could afford to give us free practice. The juniors are the people that were coming up. I mean, I see fellas going into our club there, and you know it's their freaking last fiver for the week, and he's a 13-year-old, and he's looking for a game. So I just take him for a game. I wouldn't charge him, you know.
Correct.
Con, can we just interrupt? Fergal got locked out of that, Stephen. So could you send us back in?
Oh, okay.
That's a good way to get more time, Chris.
Yeah.
Apparently, I borrowed Alex Ferguson's watch. So we should be on.
Well, you know, we're always waiting for Fergal to get things finished. So, you know, it's
usual story, £250 fine.
Yeah,
That's it.
Is this a reference to the longest frame ever again, is it?
Oh, that and many other frames.
So sorry, did you not get talking at all? Was Fergal not in?
Well, Chris and I spoke, but Fergal wasn't in on the discussion at all. So is there any way you could send us into that breakout room again?
Let's try it again for another 5 minutes. We were actually having a great chat here anyway. So
Yeah.
Okay, well, then you'll enjoy more time to talk.
yeah, good. That hopefully works now. Big clicks.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, I think as well, lads, that we, well, I don't think we underestimated, but I think young players playing the game for the first time underestimate how hard it is to play snooker. Snooker ain't an easy game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Stephen, you're new to the game. You've had a few frames. It is not an easy game to play, guys. And unless we have coaching, you know, and make this a fun way of spending your personal time, you lose people very, very fast in snooker. Would be my opinion.
Tommy Colvin here. You make it look easy sometimes, though.
Well, very true, Colvin. Very true. Yeah.
And I make it look hard sometimes, so maybe that's the thing.
It's actually very important for like the likes of an under 12 guy coming in the door that somebody kind of gives them a bit of guidance, and like at that age all you want to do is hit the center. Don't get me wrong, I'm no a snooker expert, but like hit the center of the white and start connecting with the balls first and foremost. I'm not comfortable. You can learn the screwing back and the side and all that kind of stuff afterwards, isn't it? Like, but they need that guidance from kind of within the first 2 or 3 visits to a club, you know.
They do.
And
Sorry, my young how to play snooker. He's 5. I have him on the box, so he's the hardest one to teach.
Yeah.
The older kids listen a bit more. It's tough to listen to me.
Yeah. And have any of you guys got smaller tables in your home clubs?
No, we don't.
Yeah.
There's 7 pool tables. So, 7
Okay.
snooker.
That's a start. Do you find that the smaller lads? Sorry, Dean. This is a good question. Hopefully, do you find pool is a gateway to lads playing snooker?
Oh yeah, they come in and play pool, and then sometimes pool tables are full. They put the snooker table, or sometimes they want to try one of them might like snooker a bit more, and they get their friends to play with them instead of playing pool.
Yeah,
like we usually have 100 juniors coming through each week, like coming into the club. So it's mostly probably pool with them. I'd say 70-30%, so 70% with the under 18s. But they'll all play. They all give it a go at least once or twice. One of their friends will enjoy it, and then he keep trying to get them to play.
Yeah.
Then I'll show them a few things, and then they all keep coming back every week.
Yeah, brilliant.
Oh, thanks.
Are you all aware that this season coming, the 24-25 season, anybody under the age of 18, anybody under the age of 21 pays €1 to play in senior events in the SBI?
Okay, that's good.
We opened it up. Yeah, we opened it up last year to anybody under the age of 18, and we didn't get much of. I think a lot of our youngsters that play the game are fearful of losing. You know, it's something that I'd like to knock out of them, because the higher grade they play, the more they're going to learn. You know, nobody's there to embarrass them. You know, we'd one lad, I don't know, did you see him, Colvin? We had James Stewart O'Reilly played in the senior men's Irish amateur. You know, it was absolute breath of fresh air to see a 13-year-old playing in the Irish amateur. It was just, you know, for €1, both his parents came up. I know that's not possible for everybody, but at least the cost barrier is now, you know, well and truly knocked down.
And no matter what the result was, Tommy, he'd always remember that, you know.
Absolutely, 100%, Calvin. He had a ball and stayed for hours afterwards.
He's a nice lad, actually. He competes against my son in the under-14 competition, and
yes,
I know him well. He's a lovely lad, yeah.
You know, so I don't know where they're I think they're Dublin based, Anthony.
Yeah, they're Dublin. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Dublin, yeah. So it's a bit of it's only a bit a hop and a skip for them. I know it's not the same for lads in Cork and Limerick and Galway and beyond, but it is something that I hope youngsters will avail of this year. You know, to play in a tournament for €1, and look forward to playing the likes of Colvin. Look forward to playing the likes of Johnny Farrell. You know, and what you call it from Cork, Ross Bullman, and
Ross Bullman. He's from our club, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, look, you should look forward to that. Yeah. As somebody said to me a few years ago, pressure only should come on when you're expected to win, and you're not.
Yeah, that's right.
That's when pressure should come on, not when you're playing one of the legends of Irish amateur snooker. So here the boys back. They may have a winner, I hope.
Did we have success that time, guys?
Yeah, we're all good.
Oh,
thank you to God.
Right, Chris.
Okay,
Chris,
I'm going to shut up.
Nothing away.
Hang on. Can you all hear me?
Yeah. No
okay.
We'd like to hand you over to the chairman of the panel, Mr. Michael McMullen.
Oh, thank you for the build-up there, Chris. Very nicely done.
Camera there, Michael, if you could turn your camera.
Okay.
There we go.
Not sure why you'd want that, but anyway. So yeah, listen, you know, I just want to say most sincerely, I think what we all agreed was that there wasn't a great deal to choose between any of them. You know, as I said earlier, I actually, you know, was you know, it was a real eye-opener in a lot of ways to hear people's ideas. There were no bad ideas in there, just for those who, you know, don't get the top 2 places. Just it's not a case that we weren't impressed with you at all. Just in the end, we had to make a choice, and I can tell you, you know, it was very, very close between them. So, what would you like me to do, Stephen? Will I announce the 3 €500 winners first?
Yeah, if you could.
Yeah. Okay, so the 3 500 winners then, and thank you very much for entry, and good luck with all your endeavours in the future with this money and everything else going forward. So the €500 will go to Colvin, to Con, and to Anthony. So congratulations, guys, and everyone spoke very well, and just great to see such enthusiasm. It really is, because, you know, we want to see that in the game, and that's how we're going to drive things forward in the future. And hopefully, you know, we'll all work together in whatever way we can to drive forward things like this. And, you know, I know everyone here is willing to give up their time because it's a cause that's important to us all. So essentially then it comes down to Adam and Dean, between the two of them. And unfortunately, I don't have a drum here to do a build-up to it. But so they are our top 2, and the winner, we decided, was Adam. So congratulations, Adam. Congratulations, Dean. And congratulations to everybody else. And thanks to all the judges and everyone else for their time.
Well done, everybody. Well done. Thanks, Michael.
Well done. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. Not an easy job. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Cheers, man.
Yeah, thank you so much indeed. And it's yeah, we all listened for the past hour, and as you say, all of those ideas, any one of them could have been the top winner. So I don't envy the job that you 3 guys had. So well done to you all, and thank you for doing that. And congratulations, like I said at the start, everybody's leaving with some funds to go ahead and push forward with their idea. We'd love to hear more of how you get on, or we'll check in with you and see how things are going, because we want to scale up anything that gains some traction for you and starts to see participation growing in your clubs. But overall, I think I didn't even have any more slides. I don't think I need to put the deck up again, but basically just to say thank you all for taking part. Thanks, Tom.
Is Fergal still there, is he?
Fergal there.
Yes.
Fergal, Colvin here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Just want to say something before I go. Now I have the opportunity. In 1999, you won the British Open. In 1999, I made my confirmation. my name is Colvin James Fergal O'Brien.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh. You should have told me that at 7 o'clock. You'd have had the loss.
I didn't want to know that, mate.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Love it. Love it. On that note, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you so much, everybody. Fergal, must be so happy with that. Well done, everybody.
Cheers.
Well done, guys. Everybody.
Thanks very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cheers, Michael. All the best. Cheers, Fergal.
Cheers, Chris.
Thanks,
Cheers,
guys.
Ferg. See you all soon.
Well done, everybody else.
Thanks, everyone.
Well done, Stephen. That was fantastic. Well